Hey, welcome back to Business 150, Introduction to Management. Here we are, video number 5 and our last video in this series exploring the topic of teams in organizations. This is non-textbook content. This is stuff that we teach from an executive coaching and consulting perspective. It rests on some of the best research and academic findings on how teams get the very highest performance in organizations, primarily working on the work of Jane Dutton at University of Michigan and other similar research. But as you can see here from this title slide, this is the topic of high quality connections. High quality connections and how HQCs impact group and team performance. So let's dive right in. We hope that at the end of this video, you will be able to discuss how high quality connections lead to exceptional team performance and identify the key 4 practices to begin to cultivate high quality connections in your work group or team. All right, so let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself at work as the gal slumped over her laptop in the bottom illustration? Have you ever found yourself feeling that way, tired, distracted, very low energy, disengaged? And then you may have the experience that on a day like that, you happen by chance to have a short interchange with a particular colleague, someone that you have a really great connection with, and maybe they say something or they do something, or just by being kind, it just lights you up. You feel more energy as you walk away from that interchange. It may not even be a very long interchange, but it just gives you more zest and passion for the job, and it transforms you from the kind of attitude you have in the lower photo to the one in the upper photograph. You are humming, you are styling, profiling, you're going to get some stuff done today. Have you ever had that kind of experience? I've had many of those kinds of experiences, and that is an example of the power of high quality connections. Human beings are social creatures. Human beings thrive on great connections with others. That's part of who we are as human beings. And so it's no mistake that as we are able to create and cultivate high quality connections, the power of those high quality connections in the organization can transform us and transform our performance on the job. So, what do we find with these high quality connections? High quality connections at work, high quality connections lead to all sorts of benefits for individuals as well as teams. What the research clearly demonstrates is that high quality connections lead to what? Physically and psychologically healthier employees. Greater cognitive functioning, which leads to faster solutions, better solutions, more creativity, more innovation. Folks with high quality connections at work tend to be better at knowing who to trust and who not to trust. People who experience regular high quality connections at work demonstrate more learning behaviors and more resilience, being able to bounce back better and faster from those inevitable setbacks we experience at work. People who regularly experience high quality connections at work also tend to be more committed and involved in the organization, more creative, as I've mentioned, and generally teams get better performance as they experience high quality connections on a regular basis. So how do we deliberately cultivate these kinds of things in our organization? Well, the research suggests that there are 4 important factors, elements, steps that you can actually do something about tomorrow in your organization to promote greater and more frequent high quality connections. Number 1, promote respectful engagement. Number 2, promote task enabling behaviors. Number 3, build trust with others. And 4, instill a regular element of play into the work life. Number 1, respectful engagement. What does this mean? It means to treat others with honorable respect. to treat them as human beings, to don't disregard them. Now, we've talked about this, of course, in this class, right? The 4 things that all employees want: to be seen, to be heard, to feel like their work matters, to be acknowledged for their work, and to feel like they make a difference, right? But from a very practical, actionable set of steps, what does this mean? It means, first of all, when you are engaged with someone, be completely, wholly present with them. What does that mean? It can mean something as simple as taking your cell phone and forcing yourself to stick it in your back pocket so that you can make eye contact with the other person through the entire time they're speaking, that you are focused on them and what they have to say and what they're feeling, to really be functionally present with them. It also means respectful engagement means demonstrating positive regard for the other person, not negative regard, not presuming the worst, but really seeking to understand them as a human being with positive contributions to the organization and to the conversation, right? And therefore, from a work perspective, respectful engagement as a manager typically means you are taking the initiative to demonstrate supportive communication. What does that look like? Setting the example, for instance, of making requests rather than demands of the people that you manage. You'll notice that you can't really be accomplishing the exact same thing of deploying and delegating towards tasks, but requesting rather than demanding promotes respectful engagement. Those are just 3 very obvious or perhaps actionable practical ways you can promote respectful engagement at your workplace tomorrow, right? One of the first things you can do, quite frankly, really, is just take your cell phone, stick it in your back pocket, and don't look at it when you are present with others. All right, so number 1, respectful engagement. Number 2, task enabling behavior. And what we mean by that is you are helping others become successful. You're helping others accomplish the tasks they need to complete. And that can be formal task enabling or informal task enabling, but nevertheless, it is simply being committed to helping others achieve what they need to achieve. And they can therefore sense your investment and commitment to them. Now, it's important, what we're talking about when we say task enabling is task enabling without the expectation of reciprocity. You're not doing it to get something back, all right? You're doing it because you genuinely are invested in others' success. Now, you may look at that and say, well, I got enough on my plate. I don't know if I really am committed to somebody else's success. Well, let me put it this way. One of the standard conversations I have in executive coaching is when leaders in organizations who hire me say, you know, we're really frustrated, this department's not working right, and generally it comes down to this 2 people or this 1 person's not pulling their weight. I ask them, do you want that person to fail? And they say, of course not, I don't want that person to fail. I say, great, so you want them to succeed? I say, of course we want them to succeed. We're just frustrated because they're not succeeding right now. So I say, wait a minute, you explicitly are telling me you want this person to succeed. Yes, that's right. When was the last time you told them that you want them to succeed? See how powerful that can be? When your boss or your manager comes to you and says, I want you to be successful. I want you to accomplish your goals. I'm not trying to set up any obstacles to keep you away from success and attaining the goals you want to accomplish. That's an incredibly powerful thing, which is why we say, back on the slide, providing emotional support, encouragement, recognition, as well as guidance, task information, and all sorts of flexibility. Those are the kinds of things that really demonstrate that you are all about others' success, and that promotes high quality connections. Number 3, building trust. Now, we've talked about this at length in this class, but it has been demonstrated that as you take the initiative to build trust with others, that builds high quality connections. And just as a reminder from things we've talked about in a previous module, what does it mean to build trust in organizations and teams? It means you take the initiative to be explicit and verbal in your commitment, your desire to be trusted by others and to trust them. And so you're going to work to build trust with others, and you're going to try to also be smart about who can be trusted, and remembering that trust, as we've talked about previously, is about both competence and character. More on that, of course, in the module on ethics. Hopefully you haven't forgotten those kinds of things. You can review that lecture back all the way back in module number 4 of this class. But just to remind you, as so important when we talk about building trust in organizations on teams, it actually is a primary component of building high quality connections. And finally, number 4, teams cultivate high quality connections when they're able to play either at the work venue or at some other time apart from the work venue. This is why many tech organizations have things like, as you see here, foosball tables or ping pong tables in the workplace. It's not so that folks can just get up and stretch. It's so that they can continue to have interaction with one another in a situation apart from the work task, to be able to play with one another. And whether or not it's on site with a foosball table or off site Saturday night, you take your work team bowling, something that enables them to play together, does something to foster creativity and innovation and relaxation and the kinds of things that feed high quality connections. Now, those 4 things, hopefully by now you're able to better discuss how high quality connections lead to exceptional team performance and identify the key 4 practices that help to cultivate these kinds of things. And so we want to give you these technical, practical aids to not only give you the broad brush strokes of why it's so important to consider groups and teams at work, but actually how to cultivate and promote great team performance. And this whole topic of high quality connections is really the best cutting edge on the research on how to promote best team performance in contemporary organizations today. So we hope this is useful, some things that you can use even perhaps tomorrow at your job or in the future when you are able to accomplish and secure a managerial role in your organization or your next organization. These are the kinds of things that will help you to get the most out of teams. Hope this has all been helpful. I hope this has all been helpful, and we will see you in the next module.